Who was the famous Muslim scientist that is known as Ibn Sina in the East, Avicenna in Europe, and named the Prince of Philosophers? It is nearly impossible to fully explain to him and his contributions with mere words. Born in 1980 in Uzbekistan near Bukhara in a place called Afsan, Ibn Sina was a medical doctor, poet, astronomist, mathematician, lawyer, ethicist, philosopher, Islamic scholar, and a person with a very honorable mention in philosophy. He started getting scientific and religious education at a very young age. Instead of looking at the different points of view and criticisms of his philosophy, we are going to look at Ibn Sina's relationship with science, especially within the medical field. Being a genius, he memorized the Quran at the age of 10. At only 14 years old, Ibn Sina started getting ahead of his teachers. He obtained a great amount of knowledge in topics such as philosophy, literature, mathematics, and science. At 16, he went back to medicine, and on top of learning all the topics, he developed new treatments. At 19, he became a doctor and treated his patients at no cost. After treating Samani ruler Nuh bin Mansur's sickness, he was allowed to use the books from Bukhari's rich and incredible library. From the books that he read there, he became even more knowledgeable and advanced in the field. At 21, Ibn Sina was proclaimed one of the greatest medical doctors of his period. With this discipline and intelligence, he became a pioneer and led a new era of medicine. Even at a very young age, his professors and the writings of his era were not enough for him. He wanted more knowledge. Ibn Sina has written 200 books in several fields and mainly on medicine and philosophy. He was recognized as the founder of medieval modern science and the father of modern medicine. His research on medical science is very original and accurate. That's why he ruled Eastern and Western medicine for 600 years, literally. Ibn Sina, who worked together in the Islamic and scientific fields throughout his life, has inventions that are very difficult to explain and scientifically under the period's conditions. Some of these are: he is the first person to find the microbe that caused diseases in the new era when the microscope was not yet known. He is the first to demonstrate that the vitamins are broken down in the body and mixed into the blood. He is the first person to diagnose diabetes by measuring the sugar content in the urine. He is the first doctor to perform internal operations with narcosis. He invented the water purifying filter that removes harmful microbes from drinking water. Even though people engaged in medical sciences did not have any technology equipment to examine the human body's internal structure, Ibn Sina almost entirely mapped the human circulatory, respiratory, and excretory systems. Ibn Sina, who grew up with the Islamic morality, said that people with mental and nervous diseases could be treated with music that focuses on relieving the patients instead of putting them in a dark room or chaining them, a widespread practice among medical treatment centers at that time. Throughout his 57 years of life, Ibn Sina gained knowledge in many different fields, actively participated in wars, was a volunteer doctor since he was 16, and worked in many important positions including advisor consultant, and educated many not only during his lifetime but also centuries afterwards. Ibn Sina wrote Al-Qanun fi Tibb, which was used as a fundamental book in the most famous medical faculties of that era, Montpellier and Louvain. This continued on for many centuries, and Ibn Sina became Europe's medical teacher for 700 years. 6 centuries ago, Ibn Sina's Qanun was at the top of the 6 main books in the library of the Paris Medical Faculty. During an expedition with the ruler, he suffered from a stomach illness. On his deathbed, he donated his property and his wealth to the poor, read the Quran every 3 days until his last day, and died in Hamadan on July 10, 1036. The humane and compassionate attitude of Ibn Sina, a Muslim scholar, especially towards mentally ill patients in those times, is a very good example of Islamic morality combined with science. It is rumored that Ibn Sina, who became a Hafiz at the age of 10, made use of the secrets of the Quran and his endless knowledge in his inventions that could not be explained in the conditions of that age, such as mapping the human anatomy almost perfectly, talking about microbes, and finding new treatments when there was no microscope. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe and like for more.